outside and do this to get inside, when if he would just go to the angle, he would take all of that guy's distance away. But they don't. And same thing kind of with stuff like this, with striking, but without something like Chiao, right? So, all right. So again, I kick this out, I strike here, I control this, and step in the hook. No. No. There you go. Yeah. Hit now. You got something that you can seize. Seize. Yes. This goes with it. Right? Again. Again. You do it. Again. Don't think. Do it. Other side. Do it. Again. With the shin kick. Kick. Don't think. Good. Yes, again. Hit. Yes, yes. So some of these grips and controls are different than what we used in the video last week when we were doing just controls with the throws. And if you look at those and look at these, you can go, wow, that's an extra one, and do it like that. So again, I kick to the inside, hammer fist, I seize, and then I'm going to push you that way, hand's going to come in, hook. If you have it on this side, think more like you're more like pushing him backwards. I mean, it depends on the angle, right? And I can use my forearm too. He does it to me. Okay, yeah, he did. Look. Good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. There you go. Good. All right. Knee seizing. This one's an easy one, right? In a sense, but it's not. It's an excellent movement. So I can use my side kick or my front kick. If we were in an open stance, I could use my cross kick, even like this. Cross kick, and then fall in, right? Front kick. Side kick. Okay. Yeah, use a straight punch, back fist, or hammer fist. The reason I like using the hammer fist at this range, again, I'm not just trying to hit him, and I'm not just trying to get an attachment, but I want to destabilize him. So if I'm using my arm this way, it's so much easier for me to use it to like jam him. I'm using my forearm, right? So we'll say side kick, there's my hammer fist, and I'm going to go ahead and start moving me. I'm not going to extend this, but I'm not going to do like this, but I'm going to make my body do it. I'm not going to make this move. That's it to me. Yeah. Keep pushing, he hooks the leg. Right? Again, here, make the contact. And right, I'm going to keep this shape, but I'm going to drive me through, and I'm going to try to close this distance by this pressure I'm putting here. And you can strong arm me. There's all kinds of ways to do this. So you can do it like that. If I do this, and then you can switch if you want. I just be honest with you. If you're gonna switch, be sure he's trying to reach inside or he's trying to grapple with you. And there's several of these movements for hip throw. For knee seizing. This is just one, but we're trying to do like a whole bunch of moves at one time. I'm trying to make this short enough. So I kick, I come in, and then just drop. Be sure you keep the elbow down. He does it to me. Yes. One of the other of these videos will be, I'm trying to do this throw, right, like in this situation, to give you an example. I did the move, I come here, but he starts to resist, right? Maybe he pushes the leg down, not swing, change it up, right? Or he pushes it down and I change him, whatever it may be. So one of the videos we'll also do the throw, and we'll attach the throw to it as a combination. Again, just to kind of put it all out there, and I think exposure is important. You know, just like a lot of people make these short videos, and that's cool, but all I want to do is explain it to me. It's like I'm trying to explain it to you. The more I can explain it, the more aware I get of it, I feel the more efficient I get at it. And it makes other questions in my mind. So over here, again, and this is a great move just to, for street application all day long. I'm a little closer. Right, so I did the kick, I come in and I drop. This is me. Yeah. All right, let's look at downward foot. So I'm going to do that same thing again here, and then look, I can either seize the wrist and the elbow, and then look, I'm kind of here, right? But I'm going to go ahead and reach with this hand in, and again, all day long we can talk about this arm, and right, he comes at me, and I can go over, under, or control it, and go under, or just completely abandon this side and go that way. Oh, so many things to do, right? I'm not worried about that today. Just this, right? So kick, I strike, I seize, and look, I'm going to step and do my stealing stance, and I'm right there in my front. I should say my takedown. So here, two, wrap and step. This is me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, now if it was an open stance, right? Puts this leg forward. And I'm going to kick, what I'm going to do is a cross kick, and I'm going to use my hammer fist again. So I'm going to come here, and when I come to get this arm, right, I block it, and I'm going to bring it under, catch the head, and I'm going to turn the other way. Here, 1, 2, seize, step. Does it to me? No, it's confusing. Opposite hand. Okay. Yeah. Seize it. Yeah. You can do that right there. Yeah. So let's do it over here. All right. So kick, strike. I go to change it, and I'm going to do my stealing stance all at the same time. I catch and then duck. This way. So from here, I kick, I strike, and then from here, it's kind of weird looking, but I'm going to turn this way, and I'm moving this way. Twist and spring is basically this fundamental attachment. If you go back 2 or 3 weeks, we did a video where we're doing a loose tie-up or downward pulling or wheeling, and then we did about a dozen throws off of that loose tie-up. Okay, so if you think the twist and spring is the initial throw that most people learn that go along with this tie-up, or at least that was the way it was taught to me. So we're going to use that same piece. We're going to kick and strike, catch, step, and lift. Yeah, that's it. Here. Do it over here. Kick, strike, I catch, and then step, and I'm going to pull. Let's see. Arm circling. So arm circling really kind of requires me to have 2 arms. So look, my chest is facing him like we talked about earlier, right? I need that other arm. And so In this situation, it's as if he's going to try to grab my arm or something. And I want to wrap this up. Now I can do it from here. Like say I do it, he wants his hands down, I'm just punch him and I won't have to do anything extra. So I punch and I'll shoot myself inside, right? Or I kick and I grab, right? Or I kick and I strike and pull and I get them on, right? However, so from here, kick and strike, I'm gonna catch this arm and I'm underneath and I've got this one, right? It's kind of like that. And as I step, I'm pulling this arm and I'm pushing this arm out. So I can be doing like this. Does it to me? Yeah, but he doesn't want to be this far away though. The more he can be on this side of the hip, the better. And what he can do, instead of stepping, he can take a step like this. Say I got this, and I want this, but my foot's way over here, right? So then when I step, I'm way away. But look, I can be here and step. So he's taking a hop when you do it. Hop. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, pretty close. Do it over here. I want you to hit the window. Okay. All right. There's a couple more, but you get the premise. I'm trying to explain to you the video that we did last week is pretty comprehensive on grips. It's just, I have to reach in to get something. If you think, I'm just going to reach to hit something. And if I hit something, I do. If I don't, and I make contact with his bridges, I'm going to seize them. If I don't make contact with the bridge, say, the arm is not where I want it, and I hit, just keep pushing into him. And when I say push, probably the word pressing would make more sense. In other words, I'm not trying to do that. Right? I don't want to push him away from me. I want to press into him and drive him with my legs. So if he moves, you move wherever you want to do whenever I start pressing into him. You understand? Like I stay above me. If I start pushing Jonathan with my arms, it's easy for me to lose my stability because I'm leaning into him and on my body's leaning forward. But if I'm like this and he moves, it doesn't matter. I can just keep moving with him. And I should be trying to, in this scenario, I would be trying to hit him, but I would keep trying to break his structure now, right? I keep trying to make him move so I can break him, right? He has to keep trying to recover. So it makes it easier for you to either to trip him or throw him or just, needless to say, break him down so that he gets on the ground. So, again, keep it simple, right? You can even add in a toe kick if you want, but when you're practicing the setups to get the throw off, it's not kickboxing. It's not. I'm using this stuff just to facilitate, like think of your arm and your leg like a feeler. I'm trying to do this kick so that I either get attachment to the leg or that I'm so close to the leg now that I can touch it. And I'm trying to do the same thing with the arms, right? So I'm throwing this out here to try to get this attachment. And again, like I said, if it's not there, then I try to get attached to the torso. But I want this kind of stuff, right? Sticking to him, right? When I do this shin kick, it's, yes, I'm trying to knock it out of the way, but move it, please. But no, not like that. Just move it a little. Right? I still can get attached to it or the other leg. I may move it, but I'm close now that I can do other movements. Same thing on the outside, right? I kick with my front kick and I land and look, I want this type of attachment if I can get it. Or I did the side kick. I want to try to be in here so again, I can put a load on his legs or so close that I know I can get some movement, and if he moves, it's easier for me to stay with him. Same thing with the arms, whether I use my front, a straight punch, or I use a swinging hook, or a hammer fist, or a back fist. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to get this. But again, if it's not there, I need to be able to feel like this is an uncommitted attack. When I say that, meaning I'm trying to see how he'll respond. Okay? In this situation, you may not have even had this engagement where you're doing your short range kickboxing, right? In other words, you may be fixing in an altercation with a guy, and I want to finish this guy off, right? And you may kick him, and he may, may freak him out, and, that might hurt him or whatever, you T-bone him with the leg, and, it's too much for him or something, especially a lot of people, it's hard on them with shins. Maybe I heel on him more, right? But I closed the distance even more, right? And then the strike came in, and again, I could hit him, or I could get an attachment, and I could throw him. If I hit him, he may move back. Right after say I punched him, he may move back, and then he puts his hands up, and he's ready to fight now. Now I've got to deal with this engagement. Whereas before, if I would have just hit and got something, and boom, and nothing, and he's on the ground, he's no longer really a threat to me. Now if he pulls out a gun or something and tries to shoot you, that's a different story, but you get where I'm coming from. So if you train your front or vertical kick, we'll say horizontal and inverted kick, a toe kick and a shin kick. You train those with a partner, even just this stuff, right? Can I get that type of contact? Right? And the same thing with the hands, right? I do the kick, I do the strike, right? I do the kick, I do the strike. And I'm just working those things to try to get something. If there's nothing is there, I'm going to try to make contact to his torso or to his head. And then from there, you look at what throw you want to do, and you try to utilize that attachment. And you think, it's not that complex. I'm either on the outside, or I'm on the inside, or I have pads of his head, I've got his head and his arm, or I've got his arm and his waist, or I have his arm and his arm. There's not a whole bunch, maybe less than a dozen type of arm and torso controls. My teacher calls these like butterfly heels, right? They're just different ways to get an attachment, to get inside, to get the attachment, right? It's the same thing. I'm just trying to explain it in a meat and potatoes way, and people sometimes when you use terms and words, people don't know what that means, and so then since they don't know what it means, then it can't be any good because they don't know what it means, right? You just try to explain it simply, right? I've got his bridge, I'm trying to control it in some way. It's not that difficult. Shoulder and arm, head, waist, and if you drill those with the attachment, okay, strike, get it, you throw it over and over again, and you will develop that smoothness. But again, my point, there is layers of this stuff, right? You've got this striking and kicking out here, and again, I prefer short range because everything else I'm doing is attached, right? So I have zero interest in wanting to kickbox out here, and a lot of times when people kickbox out here, and then when they come in with something, they'll end up staying in these type of side panels, and it just, to me, it doesn't benefit me. Meaning, I prefer my facing straight on, and when I kick and everything, I'm going to be able to use both hands independently. And look, I can get all the power I want. Even here, right? I can get power out of both sides. Or here, you get power out of both sides. It doesn't matter. The little bit of difference, a few extra pounds of pressure one way or the other is not going to make a big difference, right? People talk about a power side. So I hope this makes sense. This video could have probably been better, but I think it's not bad. But, I'm just trying to get the simple concept off. Keep it simple. You're kicking a punch. Again, I'm not trying to maybe potentially kickbox a guy. You're fixing to get an altercation with a guy, and I just using these moves to be able to get him, to get a hold of something. And I'm not waiting on him to attack me with a kick or a punch. Right? He throws the punch. Sure, I can try to seize it or block it, or he throws it and bait it and do something else, whatever it is. But I don't want to wait on him. and me potentially make an error. I would rather put him on the defensive, and that's what a lot of this stuff is about. Put him on the defense and try to get a hold of something and then respond to it. So from this attachment, right, the probability that you're going to be able to get this off on the, with a high percentage without the person doing something else is going to be low. But I should train it because it's a precursor to the other things, right? Meaning I did this, but now I go to do the throw, but he resists, and I've got to turn it into a combination, or I need to counter because he tried to dissolve or move or something like that. The other aspect of it, he tried to hit me or strike me in some way, right? I do this, and I come here, and now he tries to hit me, right? And so I have to go this other way, right? So think of it as two ways, right? So either once I do this kick and strike to try to get inside, I try to execute my move, and he resisted in some way, or he moves, and I've got to make my combination of my counter. If I do the other way, and he tries to attack me with the offside, then from that, I'm going to either have to abort this altogether, or I'm going to use this attached with this to make a secondary combination off of a strike, not off of his resistance to the throw itself. So those are two different aspects. And then once you start doing that stuff, then you start getting into what striking and grappling is. And it's a lot to develop it, but if you can develop this skill, it is highly prized. Meaning, not a lot of people can really flow and fight in here. It's because they can do Chiao, and you can do, you're striking him, and you're doing moves, and Johnson doesn't know how to do really this stuff that much. But you get my point. That's not really striking grappling. That's a precursor. That is no different than me getting these attachments, right? When I'm doing Chiao like this, it's really just me trying to get the attachment, in my opinion, to be able to execute a takedown or a throw or a trip. Same thing with push-ins, the same thing. That is it in my mind, it's a precursor. They say, well, you're still pushing and pulling. Like, yeah, but it should be something more. It shouldn't just be, a push or a pull. Did you really truly destabilize him because you got him to move a little? No, that's nothing. If he's laying on the ground, then you destabilize him for sure, and you probably did it. But if he just pushes me a little and he didn't win anything, he won because he moved his foot. No, not to us. So anyway, striking and grappling is a complex fighting method, and it's been around for a very long time. And there are other people out there to discuss this stuff. And so anyway, I hope you liked the video. And like I said, I think the next one we do will be over pins and controls and kicks and strikes that go onto the ground. But again, we got that. We've got the jacket controls, jacket and bolt controls. And then we've got tearing, which is releasing from the jacket grip, and spinning, which is utilizing the jacket to move the person. In both of those ways, we also have throws off of those actions. We're going to do a video where we have on boxing gloves to simulate the concepts that we do in Sanda. And again, the combination throws off of a setup and or off of strikes. We just kind of flesh that stuff out more. It may get a little, if you're just looking for some entertainment, this is probably not going to be it. Meaning, we're going to go with the same throws over and over using these different variations. I'm just trying to make people conscious and aware of these different aspects. We do these, we've done several videos where we're doing these moves and we're not really talking about it. But it's, again, it's really important to be able to judge that distance. If you don't ever practice the stuff like that, it's very hard. Right? Practice, practice, practice. So anyway, thank you for watching the video.